to save you. God intend to save you. God intend to save you. Oh, God intend to save you. 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 Houseplants. 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 Houseplants.
I'm Logan, and today we're going to be making some salmon Caesar salad. Traditional Caesar dressing calls for two things that a lot of people don't like. One of those things is raw egg, specifically egg yolk, and the other thing is anchovies. And we will be using both of those. This dressing is one that I picked up when I worked at a restaurant, back when I was probably about 14, 15. I don't know, I was never crazy for Caesar dressing because it's always the stupid shit that comes in like a squeezy tube at like lunch at school. And then I started cooking at this restaurant while I was a dishwasher at first. And they had really good Caesar dressing. I found out that it's traditional Caesar dressing. So 3 egg yolks. Obviously for anyone that doesn't know, you can use the shell to pull the yolks out. Literally, like I said earlier, you can take the eggshell and actually grab the yolks. It'll leave behind the ooey gooey. Next, we're going about a 3/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. This is Parmesan Reggiano that was shredded by hand. This is not a food safe environment. Okay, 3/4 cups of Parmesan cheese. We're gonna do half a tablespoon of fresh ground pepper. Oh, that's fun. Okay, that's going right in there. All right, we need 1/8 of a cup of red wine vinegar, a little over half a tablespoon of minced garlic, 1/16 of a cup of Worcestershire. Dude, I can say it so confidently until I actually have to say it. That's probably Worcester. All right. And then last is the anchovies. We need like that much, and they only let us buy that much. So that's awesome. It's $15. Oh, that's kind of awesome. Yeah, we're just gonna chop up a few of them. A little over half a cup of this. So we're gonna very slowly drizzle all this in. Like I said, very similar to making mayo. You dump it all in at once, that texture breakup will be really weird. You literally want to do like a Please subscribe to our Patreon so we can afford a new whisk. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it at that because that's a really good texture. I want a little shorter than the 5/8 cups, but it is where I would want it. Just romaine lettuce. Caesar should always have romaine. It's a nice leafy lettuce. Kind of an iceberg hater, kind of a most other lettuces hater. I think you could do some spring mix or something. Start at the top, kind of bunch it all together. Cut it in. I usually do like bigger strips. I don't know, 2 to 3 inches about. If you cut it like this, it'll come apart really well. That's it. I'm just put it straight into the bowl. If you make this like stuff ahead of time, if you prep it, you could always dump it into the mixing bowl, but we're making 1 serving, so I'm just putting it right into the bowl. But you want to just kind of evenly mix and coat it all. It'll really pick up on that. You want it to have a good coating too. You don't want to like barely taste the dressing. That's like the main part of this meal. Wash my hands real quick. Next thing we got to do is prep the fish. So off screen I mixed it together, but literally just have some butter, garlic, and a little bit of parsley, some Italian parsley. That's just gonna go right on top of the fish. The oven is currently preheated at 375 Temperature doesn't matter too much. We're kind of going just for a look on this salmon. How you cook your salmon also doesn't matter. I like doing it in the oven because it's easy and simple. Back when I worked in the kitchen, we did it on the grill, right where we'd cook all the burgers and everything, but doing it this way is kind of nice because you get a little bit of control, or a lot more control over how it's cooked based on how much time. So 10 minutes is going to be a little rare in the center, which is safe for salmon, but we're all set with that. That's going to go right in the oven. Last step is to plate it all. I pulled the salmon out of the oven, ran for about 15 minutes. You really just go by visual. You want to make sure the whole outside looks cooked. Some of the garlic and stuff on the top started crisping up a little bit too, which is usually a good indicator that it's cooked through enough. We're gonna start by just taking your lettuce, putting it right on the plate. Not gonna get my hands dirty this time. Salad bowl is usually ideal, but this is what we're gonna work with. Gonna flatten it out a little bit too, because we're gonna be putting that salmon right on top. Have a little bit of extra Parmesan. That's gonna get sprinkled right on top. Mostly for garnish, obviously there's a bunch of Parmesan already in the dressing. And then the salmon, again, right out of the oven. Forgot to mention it, but I do keep the skin on when you cook it. It kind of makes its own cooking surface. And the fat layer right in between the skin and the salmon does a really good job at letting you just kind of work right under it. You can plate like that. Do a little bit of parsley for garnish, and then you have your salmon Caesar salad.
My name's Josiah. Today we're baking chorizo con huevos with some spoiled ass bacon. You always gotta start making the toppings first. No one can go wrong with a bit of avocado. All you gotta do, cut down the center, twist off a little bit, and look at that. You see that? And with the pit, you just press out, comes right out. As you can see, we got 4 halves right here. Next, we start off with the tomatoes, and there's a nice little red tomato. You ain't gotta do anything special. I usually just slice down like this. You can go as thin or as big as you want. I usually like them a little thinner, but you know, fuck you, I don't know. Stack them on top of each other and start dicing up. There you go, you got your trash here, you got your tomatoes here. There we go, we got avocado. Set them to the side, start making your chorizo. But first, we gotta make our egg mixture. Next thing you need for the chorizo with the eggs is you need to crack some eggs. I usually use 3, but what you gonna do? Crack it open that boy up. Once you're done there, mop up your hands a little bit. And what you wanna do next for this is you wanna crack open the milk. We pour a little bit of milk in there, eyeball it because I don't got measuring tools. We don't got budget for that. We got some budget cuts. But then you take your fork, you put it all the way down at the bottom, and you start whisking. The eggs should be whisked in pretty good. Most of the color should be yellow now and not white anymore from the milk. And then you just set it to the side. Okay, so the prep is over. We've done everything to make sure that the chorizo is ready to go. Now it's time to cook the protein, and that would be the chorizo stick itself. So chorizo is just pork sausage, and so with pork, you want to make sure that you cook it thoroughly before you actually start adding the eggs in, because if you eat raw pork, well, that might be your last meal. So with chorizo, they come in these casings, and what you need to do is you need to cut the casings off, usually at the tips over here. I mean, you can cut a line down with a knife. I cut it at the tips for this reason, because once I'm ready to put it in the pan, I squeeze it from the top, and it usually just rolls right out. There's a sizzle. Usually this is where you could stop. Just a nice little pebbly kind of consistency. There might be some clumping here and there, but those will fall apart once you add the eggs in there. You want to let it go until you're done, until it's done cooking, and then you want to pat it down with a towel and make sure that there's no grease left, because if you put too much, or if you leave too much grease in there and you add the eggs, you're gonna have a consistency that looks like shit. So don't do that. While we let this cook, I'm gonna bring in my Tampico, because you can't tell a good story without a good drink. Anyways, so for those who are new to this show, I am half black and half Mexican, but I was raised by 2 Mexican parents. So I had a lot of Mexican dishes. I had chorizo, I had migas, I had empanadas, I had everything. And this was my favorite thing to have in the morning. The best thing about waking up on a Sunday afternoon before heading to church was to smell chorizo being made in the kitchen. You come down, it's just a nice fluffy consistency, just some nice eggs with some chorizo. And I love this, you know, my parents taught me how to make it. And so after I had went out on my own, I started making chorizo all the time. And it's really good for breakfast, it's good for dinner. I mean, it's good for any point. Most of the time, most people make it for breakfast, but man, there ain't no rules, that's all made up. But this is a great and easy dish to make. You literally have to put no effort into it. I bought 5 ingredients and this prep took me about 20 minutes. So there's really nothing to it. You just let it cook. Best thing about the chorizo is you just kind of look to make sure that it's all nice and it has similar colors to it. It's nice and pebbly. And then once you're done there, this is most people forget to pat down the chorizo before they actually start making it. So you just want to take a napkin, it can just be a paper towel or you know, napkins or anything like that, and just start patting it down. Should look a little dehydrated at a certain point. When you think everything's good, you just fold up your towel, set it aside. All you gotta do is throw your egg mixture in there. It's gonna look a little orange. That's just from the grease, so don't worry, ain't nothing bad happening. But you just wanna stir it around. You wanna make sure that your eggs don't get stuck to the side of the pan. Your chorizo should already be cooked, so essentially this part, you could eat it if you wanted. You know, the longer you cook it, the less wet it's going to be. So it's just up to personal preference. I usually like mine's on the wetter side, but some people like theirs more on the drier side. So it's really up to you. That's it for the chorizo. There's nothing else to it. And like I said, it's a really simple dish. There's nothing crazy about it. Quite easy to make. We got everything done besides the tortillas, but you know, we need to add one more ingredient to really set this dish off, and that's a classic bacon. All right, just listen to this. That's bacon right there. That's pork. We have the tortillas. All you need to do is just throw these on a stove top or a pan, let them cook for a minute. These are flour. You can get corn. I like flour more, but if you want them less flaky, don't cook them for so long. But all you gotta do is just throw them on the stove top, let them sit, periodically flip them. That's all you gotta do. All right, last thing we gotta do is just plate everything. So, you know, you just wanna take a little bit of chorizo, just boom, right on top. Just take some bacon, slap that on there. You take your toppings, like your avocado, take a spoon, plate it. You just take some tomatoes, throw them boys on there. That's it. That's the dish. And this is chorizo con huevos with possibly spoiled bacon. We forgot to start filming because we were so fucking hungry. This took us like 30,000 hours. We actually had to stop filming in between because our camera ran out of batteries. So we kind of dug in a little too quickly. So you see this motherfucker? This shit got fucking annihilated. This shit didn't stand a chance. No one stood a chance in this whole building. This shit was gone. That fucking fish. Damn.
I think I already forgot what it tasted like.
I didn't, that's for sure.
This is just us introducing some meals that are important to us. Josiah grew up with his. Mine was a good intro into cooking for me. But dude, I don't know anything about filming videos.
Well, thank you for watching. This is our first video.